So, hello everyone, how's it going? I'm Harsh, I'm the pixel art mentor at G2M, and how's it going for everyone? Let us know in the comments who's here. Let's see. Good morning everyone. Oh, Cricket Real, bless quite unique names. Hmm. Well, let's wait a few minutes till then, let me know how is your Sunday going. Do you have any plans? Or I mean, it's still too early to ask how was the day, right? So yeah, let's see. And let me give you a rundown of what's going to happen today. We have very like it's a very interesting class we are going to have today. So we have two members from the team Ascendant, and they are going to showcase us their game, right? And yeah, so let's just start without any delay. I'll just add to the stage the members. First is Ashwin. Hey Ashwin. Hi. Then Pranav.
Hey,
Hello, how's it going?
all going great. How's it going?
It's fine here as well. Right, so I'll just leave the stage here and you guys take it from here. Give some introduction about yourselves and what your game is about, how what all you have in mind today, right? So let's begin. All the best.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Um, yeah, Pranav,
Yeah,
I'll just be sharing my screen. Just give me 1 second. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, guys. We have Ascendant, the project we've been working on from a very long time. Yeah, so this is actually our graduation part of our graduation project in G2M. So, hi, my name is Pranav, and I'm the team leader, game designer, and game programmer for this project. I also manage the project along with my teammate Ashwin. Ashwin, introduce yourself.
Hi guys. I'm Ashwin. I'm also a game designer as well as a game programmer specializing in Unreal Engine. And yep, so we're basically a small and a very passionate team, but we are basically united by our common vision for our project Ascendant. Basically, we wanted to create something that's challenging and immersive and truly unforgettable. So, yep, Pranav.
Yeah. So this game which we are talking about has actually been selected for the IGDC Indy 40 category. It made it to the top 40 finalists, and we are very happy that we didn't expect that this would happen, and the experience is really surreal for us. So now Ashwin will explain the further ado what will happen. The slides.
Yeah, before we move ahead, I would also like to give two special thanks to two of our members, Akhil
Yeah.
and Yashasvi, because without them, this project was incredibly hard to do so. And you know, their help has been and their support throughout the entire project has been amazing. But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to be showcasing our trailer for our project. So let me know what you guys think about this in in the comments.
Guys, there is no any audio here. Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Is there any audio supposed to come because we can't hear anything. There is no sound.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
there's no sound. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yes.
Uh,
So
um,
try sharing, I guess. If
One
see
second.
if there are any like options to turn the audio on while screen sharing,
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Hmm. Just a sec.
I will. Yeah. Okay.
Try playing once.
It's your turn to save us. Help
Yep.
us escape
Now
from
it's
here.
coming
You
through.
need to move in silence, with shadows. Decide your approach. Take them out if needed. Information is your guide. Use your surroundings. This is your chance. Be the Ascendant.
We are waiting for you, Bluehead. The brothers decide your fate while you sneak around us.
Only you can save them, and they know you are coming for them.
Yep, that is our trailer for Ascendant. And yep, as I said, let me know what you guys think about this in comments. Although we'll be accepting questions a bit at the end, not exactly right now, but we'll be keep monitoring the comment section so we have an idea of what you guys want to know as well. Um, Moving further, I'll be talking more about the concept of our game. Um, so, the truest form of stealth is a mindset. It's about being patient, meticulous, and calculating. And it's not just about hiding in shadows, but also understanding your environment and using it to your advantage. This is a very popular and a very famous quote by a very famous video game designer, Hideo Kojima. And we have taken his words as our kind of like guiding principle as well while designing the entire game of Ascendant, which is basically a stealth game. And the idea is to bring out the stealth mechanics as much and as like bring it out as much as possible, and try to make it more interactive and engaging for the player. And that was an entire like mindset or like the game Ascendant.
Yeah, so coming to the core mechanics, this gameplay features a diverse mechanics which keep the player engaged throughout the gameplay experience. And here we have the parkour, and this gameplay parkour is actually a very unique kind of thing because you have the craft of level design as well as the craft of the mechanics, which actually combine and give you an immersive experience. Like you can travel to the level seamlessly, and the gameplay which you are seeing, it is a stealth game, and we have heeded the advice of Hideo Kojima, so you have to kill the enemies without being seen. And there are really varieties of enemies which you have to kill. I mean, some of them are really intelligent and they will actually learn through your movements and stuff. So you player have to be very careful and strategize their moves when killing enemies and traversing through the environment. So everything which is combined actually creates an whole experience for this game. Next.
Yeah. So the idea behind the art style is we wanted to reflect a little bit of sci-fi and cyberpunk style while also trying to reference a little bit of Japanese architecture. this was our initial art style moving into this game. We decided to go with a very simplistic and probably like a procedurally arranged platform, so the player can, use them to maneuver around. And basically, the idea was to give the mechanics are supposed to give the players choice and freedom. So basically, for every tool there is a reason, and also our idea is to make sure that the world where the world of Ascendant is basically a world where shadows are our best friend, and each movement counts for like each movement counts as well. Yeah. So and we also have to make sure keep that in mind, that Ascendant brings life in a city that's ruled by ruthless corporations. That was the idea behind why we decided to go for like a sci-fi and cyberpunk theme as well, because we wanted to showcase a little bit of the ruthless corporations, like towering buildings and those kind of aspects we wanted to reflect in our game as well. Um, Moving ahead, I'll be talking about a little bit of how the design flow, that after we design this particular concept, how we decided to program it. What was the initial thought process, and obviously with a lot of help from Gamer to Maker also, we helped refine these ideas. And also the most important part about game design is also balancing. And the initial concepts were sometimes heavily imbalanced, so we had to make sure that it was properly balanced as well. And this is what we had come up with at the end of, like, this is the final what do you say, like the flow that we had come up with after a lot of iterations. So we basically have a 5 mechanics which we divided into states. So basically, what we designed was a kind of like a state machine where, depending on the player's input, the entire game moves into different states. So let's say if the player is using a particular ability like hacking or like grappling, he would move into that state, and it would fire off all kinds of events and functions from that particular state, and then move over to the, calculating all the required parameters changes, and then communicating with other actors and other classes. And that's how we kind of like manage control, as well as this gave it a more efficient and streamlined way of debugging. So in case we faced any errors, we knew exactly where to pinpoint the error and what we needed to change so that we could correct it. So that was the basic idea behind the state machine that we had created. And as well as I'll be talking about the little mechanics. So initially we had a lot of mechanics, right? We wanted to create, we want to bring out a lot of stealth mechanic. So these are the 5 mechanics that we came after a lot of rapid prototyping within Unreal Engine, and testing it out over and over again with a lot of iterations, and then testing it amongst our team and seeing where we can improve and where we could go wrong. So we basically have 5 mechanics, which is the dash mechanic. Basically, it's a short dash from within short meters, where a player can move from one location to another and quickly evade and or just come behind the enemy so he can attack. The other one is basically a parkour mechanic that we had mentioned before, basically a grappling hook. So basically, the player can move into specific locations or reach heights where he's not allowed, which is not easily accessible, right? So we gave such elevated areas and platforms for the player to hide from sight, and understand the layout of the entire level, so that he can decide his approach into moving forward as well while playing the game. So that's the kind of idea that we had with the parkour as well. So in cases where the enemy starts attacking the player and the player needs to hide himself, or to cover himself with stealth. So in order to quickly evade the enemies, we decided to go for kind of like an invisibility kind of mechanic, like a cloak, where the player can turn invisible for a very short duration, and then he will immediately turn back to idle after a cooldown period. And then there's a lot of actors and a lot of objects in the world that the player can interact with via hacking. So basically, if he's near a camera, he can hack the camera, and then he can see another viewpoint which is not visible normally. That was the idea between like hacking as well as the player has main objectives in the game, which he needs to use this particular module, the hacking module, where he needs to hack like control systems to turn like to sabotage alarms and also to get data from a control room and stuff like that. That was and this hacking is what we decided to use as our main narrative mechanic as well, which helped us to create objectives in the entire level. And the final thing, which is the most important one, is the combat, right? So we wanted to bring a kind of like a stealth combat that was important for the player as well. So we decided to go for a sort of assassination kind of a technique where the player creeps up behind the enemy and he instantly teleports if he is within proximity, and then he teleports behind the player, executes the attack, and then he resets back into his idle state. So these are the different like mechanics that you can experience in our demo as well, which is live on itch.io. But yeah, this is like a kind of like a sandbox that we kind of created as well, where you can test out these mechanics and let us know what you think about them as well in the in your free time, or like you can message us in the Discord server or anything. Moving on to narrative.
Yeah, so coming to the narrative, the game should have a great story for that kind of gameplay. So, coming to the setting, the game is actually set in a mega city, which is controlled by mega corporations and oppressing the people over there. And our protagonists have to save that city. So, the setting which we are talking about, it's like the mega city is like a cyberpunk themed kind of city, and it's isolated inside a very big walls, so nobody can actually go outside and see how the world is. So they are trapped over there and controlled over there. So there are like districts, there are like skyscrapers and everything, every diverse thing you can expect from a mega city. And also the societies are divided, like the rebels, the poor people, and the mega corporations, which are fighting amongst each other, and the control is in a chaos over there. You can go next, Ash.
Yeah. Moving on to the protagonist. So we had to design the protagonist, and we needed to explain like how the entire story, how the main character, who we called Kane, how he's got his particular abilities and how he became the Ascendant, like how he became an assassin himself. So we used the hero's journey, which is a very popular narrative structure that we had understood from Gamer to Maker's classes, and we understood how we had to basically arrange the structure, what were the important incidents that we needed to highlight during the entire protagonist's lives, and basically create a backstory for him, as well as kind of like creating the character design. And this is where we first got into like proper design for the character as well while we were working on the game. So we highlighted 4 events which is really important for our protagonist as a a kind of like the backstory of our game. So like a 20-year-old worker is Kane. He's producing biomechanical limbs in a factory, right? So he lives in the lowest district as well, which is basically Ascendant's main setting. As we said, there is the heavy ruthless corporations who live in the lavish part of the city, and then you have the slums and the lower district, and he uses to like where he wants to spend his evenings and take a break from his factory work and everything. So what happens is that during Kane was playing a game, and then he gets trapped inside his favorite game due to an incident which should be highlighted in our game. So basically during like a stormy night, there's like some issues that happens with the arcade, and because of which Kane's reality shifts, and then he gets trapped inside this game. So while he is inside this game, the player learns different abilities that he then brings back into his real life when he escapes the game at the end. So that was the entire idea of how the player gains his abilities. And then once he comes back into the the real world, back into the city, there's a huge curfew and there's like a lot of chaos happening, as we mentioned before. Now, because of this particular incident that we talked about, when King comes back out, everything is in disarray, and now he needs to use his newfound abilities to navigate the dangerous, streets, basically to return home. But he gets captured by the rebel, by the guards, and by who are being controlled by the heavy corporations. So there, this is where we bring into another concept of the narrative. Basically, we wanted to bring another community that is against the corporations, and that is like a revolution, like a rebellion, right? So here we bring a group of assassins where Kane decides to join them at the end, and once he learns of their missions, he decides to fight with them to against these ruthless corporations. And basically they recognize his talents, and they like to they saw that he has potential, and due to obviously his newfound abilities as well, it was heavily what do you say uh, like really good for Kane to be like very advantageous, as you can say, yeah, for Kane to help them out. So that is why they Kane decides to also help them out, and basically joins their fight against the corporations.
Yeah, so coming to the enemies, the protagonist have a mission as well as the enemies have their mission. The mission is like you have to control the mega corporation by oppressing everyone, obviously. And there are like for the player, since he is the powerful one here, the enemies are more powerful than him. And there are like the three brothers. Our main objective is to assassinate them and infiltrate their bases and assassinate them to take control of the city once again. So the three brothers are like they are the ruthless ones. They control each districts, and they will not show any mercy if we are found. So that's a mission for our protagonist to actually uh, tackle that. So that's the enemies for Ascendant now.
Yeah, moving on towards level design.
Yeah, coming to the level designing, initial concepts, like I'm the level designer for this game, and I have taken many references from like many stealth games like Metal Gear Solid, Uncharted, and many other stuff. And all those things actually grasp me to one thing, like where is the spatial communication? I mean, we have the spatial communication, but we should have a diverse setting of the verticality and the ground traversal. So that was my initial thing in the mind, and after taking many references from those games, I have made early sketches for these games. And with the design support from Akila as well, it was really easy for me to do those initial concepts. And we have created many other levels, and like there are so many levels in this game. So designing each one of them was an experience for me, because we have to show different kind of things for every different kind of level, any unit thing for every level. So that would be challenging for us in such a way. And next slide, Akhil. Yeah, so after the initial stage, after sketching out everything, we were coming to the blockout stage, and it was another kind of challenge. We have used Unreal Engine only for blockout stage. And like blocking out was like it was simple as well as hard, because we need to create a balance between the gameplay. And if time constant was there, then it was like a little bit of challenging for ourselves. But we have managed enough to make a viable gameplay, easy to play. So like while testing it, we are on the constant iterating and testing with the parkour mechanics, the enemy patrol paths, and other stuff. So player, when he's playing, he will not feel any incomplete feelness while playing the levels. So that would be our blockout stage, which we were doing. And next slide. Yeah, after blocking out, like we had to play with the lighting, the environment art, and we have to put the background setting for the city. And it was like a challenge for all of these things, because we have to manage the memory efficiency, as well as we have to put a beautiful environment. So the scene setup was like really a pain, but we finally adjusted everything to deliver a great experience. You will not get the feeling that it's incomplete here, Bulke. So everything is perfect in the scene setup and for this game. So we are working all the time on the level, and we are iterating new things to add everything. And we also carefully crafted the enemy patrol points and the crucial points in the stealth sections to for the player. The So that will be our level designing part.
Yeah, so we'll give a brief showcase on the Unreal Engine part as well, so you guys can see how our level has been crafted. Just give me a second, I'll be presenting that part. Yeah, Pranav, you can go.
Yeah, so this is the level of the tech demo. So actually, only we both have worked for this one. So I was unable to find out many new assets or create new ones, because we have a time constraint while making this. So this is like just a tech demo where we showcase our mechanics and just a brief introduction for the game. That's it. Nothing polished or the final build. So this is the environment, and the player will actually be provided with much cover where necessary. And uh, this is one of the objective, like player have to sabotage two alarms and gain the intel from the main building. So that will be the objectives for this level. And the player, this is one of the alarms which is actually confined in a space, and it is actually connected with the main building. So the player can effortlessly travel to the main building and the objective easily. So it will be like you have to travel to the entire level to actually complete those objectives, right? So there will be grappling points, which is backside. And as you can see, yeah, there is the grappling point. The player can actually have a backdoor entrance, like you can just go through the balcony over there, and you can gain access to the key cards. And there will be enemies everywhere patrolling the points. And Ashwin, can you show the camera? Yeah, so enemies are actually patrolling here and there, like three of them. And here are the cameras, and if you possess the camera, then you can see the enemy patrolling there, and you can strategize your move, like how you are going to approach them and kill them. So killing them is necessary for the objective completion. So that would be a pain for a player to move everywhere and do things. So there's that. And also you can move freely through everywhere, and you will also have the dialogue cues and the hints from the announcer. Like you will have a companion in the game, and she will announce everything, which is like a hint to you, which serves like a hint to you. So these are the enemies. They will also patrol everywhere. We have given them the spline points to make them patrol the map. So if you're in front of them, then they'll not show any mercy, and they will definitely kill you. So there's that. So that's pretty much of the level designing we were talking about. And there is more to come. We are iterating everything, and like in the IGDC, you will see another experience for the game, and I can guarantee that. Ashwin, you can carry.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be presenting screen once more. Just give me a second. Yeah. So moving forward, we're going to be talking about a little bit of the challenges that we faced during the entire process, the production process of Ascendant, and how we created solutions and what we took away from each challenge that we faced. So bringing forward a couple of challenges, we want to make sure that these are like the major ones that we had faced. There's a lot of challenges that you will definitely face while trying to make your own game, but maybe this particular challenges that we have faced might give you a better understanding of how maybe you can improve and maybe not make the same mistakes that we have created while during our development process as well. So the major and the first issue that we would like to bring forward is basically our project handling. Like this particular guy that we see on the screen over here, we also, this was our reaction when we lost data while we were trying to make games, and a lot of large files and a lot of audio, textures, and animations all were deleted, and we could not recover them. So we had to recreate everything from like all over again, and this definitely put the development timeline a bit ahead. Like we had to push back a lot of um, development that we were planning to create as well. And we decided to tackle this by looking into version control. So here at G2M also, we had like master classes on how to use Git and how we can basically use Git to manage our process, like our entire projects, and how we can, like, what are the processes involved in managing such version control systems. So we decided to go for something like Git LFS, because since game projects are extremely heavy and they're extremely large in size as well, so we had to store this data on some server, and Git offers this opportunity using LFS as well. So basically, we didn't want to overwrite or lose data that all of us are collaborate while we're all collaborating and working with each other. We didn't want to make sure that such errors or such problems would occur. So we had to, accordingly coordinate and make sure that everyone is working together at the same time, and and make sure that the entire timeline is managed. So, like, say, like, if one person is working on our team at a particular time zone, a timeline, so we will make sure that the other people do not push their data onto the GitHub, so that there won't be any conflicts or any changes. And like there was a lot of issues even after we used Git, but we learned as an overall after constantly trying to understand how it works, and every single error that we tackled, we learned from it and make sure that we did not repeat them again. So the entire point I wanted to bring out here is that while you're doing project management as well, there's a lot of things that does come up like this. But important thing is there's a lot of like the takeaway from here is that there's a lot of things that we can learn as well. And a lot of ways where we can improve while we are constantly iterating on our project as well.
So coming to the second challenge which we were facing a lot, and it was like the conflicting timelines of like see I was a team leader of this project, and I have to manage few people, and by the end we were two were present, but the conflicting timelines, like Ashwin would have a different schedule and I would have a different schedule, so managing that would was actually a pain for me. And like for we have but we didn't lose any hope. We actually did regular checkouts, like we were checking upon each other, like Ashwin, did you do this, did you do that? Okay, we were actually checking on each other, and every week we used to share our progress of the game, and that would allow us to like schedule our timings and sort out the conflicts which we were having in during the scheduling. And also we used to prioritize, and uh, the we have to clear the milestones, right? So we have to prioritize main parts for the development process, and we used to keep deadlines, and it was a challenging thing for us because we have to balance our academics as well, since we are college students. So that was a challenge for me. and we used to clear off many of the milestones, and some, if some are getting delayed, then we used to push them back, and we used to focus on other things, and then for this one. So that's something we used to do, most probably. And for the communication, we used Discord, which was helpful for all along the way. We used to share our progresses in the Discord, and we also used to track our progresses using Confluence, which been a great help for us. And if anyone is managing the project, then I would suggest Confluence is the thing, because you have everything, like from the game designing to the level designing, and every part of the game which is important, you can manage it in Confluence. So it's easily accessible for the team members. Like, you have a team leader, you have the roles defined in the Confluence, and it will help you to schedule the meetings and everything in the Confluence. So it's like a virtual office for us. So that was very helpful while conflicting, like clearing out the conflicting timelines between the teammates. You can go next, Ash.
Yeah, I would also like to add another point. So during this entire project, while we were facing such conflicting timelines, the important thing that we had to keep in, like, that helped us a lot during this entire production process, was basically the project management calls that we had with the G2M project managers, and they basically helped us turn all of our roadblocks into stepping stones, and give us strategies on team coordination, project management, as well as Pranav said, prioritization of what tasks to finish at what time, and basically keeping our entire game vision on track. So without their help, we would have actually faced a lot of issues, and most likely would not have even met any of our deadlines as well. So they were really helpful in trying to keep our communication between teammates as well, and also in any adjustments and all of the feedback that we got from them during every single project management call. It was easy to understand where we could go wrong and where we may not, what we should do and what we should not do, help get the entire deadlines met and kept all going forward, so that we could come up with the tech demo as well. And the final and the key part about every game that we kind of worked upon is basically scaling down. So this was one of the biggest issues that we had to face very early on the project. So when we created the concept of Ascendant, we had a lot of ideas and a lot of mechanics that we wanted to implement in the game. But the key point that we kept on forgetting was manpower. And the point is that we did not have a lot of time, as Pranav mentioned. Like, we had ample amount of time to focus on whatever mechanics we wanted to finally create, but the main point is to scale down whatever we think was too not possible or impossible, and make like the levels not so big, balancing the gameplay and everything. So in order to focus on such kind of concepts, we had to create realistic milestones, and at the same time we also had to make sure that all of our assets and everything that we are creating, they're not like, we're not reusing it a lot of times, and basically create a more like a high quality, like focusing more over quality over the quantity of our entire game. So that was the entire idea behind the scaling down factor that we had to properly think about very early on in the game, as I mentioned before. So this part is clearly important because we have seen a lot of games, like AAA games like God of War, Spider-Man. All of those games look amazing, and they're crazy and all. But it's impossible to create such games all by ourselves within within a year, or within 2 years or something like that. So we had to keep realistic milestones and bring us, ground us back to the earth. So that was the point that I wanted to bring out over here. And yeah, so this is all about the three main challenges that we basically faced during our entire production process. So we kind of like had to face them, learn from these experience, and then move forward as well. Now I'll be showcasing the game demo that we have created as well. Just give me 1 second. I'll be sharing that screen. Yeah. Present. Yeah. So this is the game demo for Ascendant. So right now it's loading the game.
I guess there's no audio.
Uh, yeah. So over here, maybe the audio is basically not audible over here, but basically we created a cinematic which explained the entire layout of the level and what was our objective as well, and that has been outlined on the top as well. So we have to disable 2 alarms and as well as gain intel on the militia, and our other objective is to kill all of the guards as well. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. So we first pick up our trusty weapon, the katana, which is going to be helpful in us in uh, the entire level. Like when we have to kill and assassinate people, this is the main weapon for the character. And coming over here, I want to bring out another point that we have created. There is 2 parts that the player can use. One is the grappling point over here that he can use to get over this gate immediately. But the issue that the player might face is that the guard, he does not know where the guards are on the other side of this gate. So we have included an optional basic entrance all the way here where the player can crouch and enter as well. So I'll be showcasing both the parts as well, so you can check that out. So this is how the player can enter from the side, and this is the other entrance where if the player presses a button for the grappling hook, he will jump over. And luckily, the guard is not looking at the player, so he can easily go and assassinate the enemy. So as you can see, there is another guard over there. So the player has to be careful, making sure he does not create that much amount of sound and move towards the level. So maybe the audio is not audible also over here, but there is constant hints that are given by a person who is communicating to you via your headset. So you can, she will be telling you and mentoring you and guiding you like throughout your entire game as well. So you will know what to do and what maybe if there is an enemy looking right at you, so you can basically understand that as well. So here's the first alarm that you have to turn off. Uh, and like that you can sabotage the first alarm after within while interacting with it. And then here if you go towards the back, if you are gamers like me and you would like to explore the entire game, you can even find out that there's a secret pathway onto the balcony as Pranav mentioned. So you can grapple up over here, but you got to be careful since there's a lot of enemies also in this particular area. So you need to make sure that you do not um, get hit by the enemy. As you can see, one of the enemies did, like both the enemies have found out that they have spotted me, so I need to assassinate them quickly without them hurting me. So I will move over here. Okay, yeah. So since I've hidden from sight, they have essentially gone back to the patrolling version. And here I will assassinate them quickly before they hit me. And then we move over to our second alarm objective, which is hidden here. And sabotage this alarm as well. And then in the map, you get to see a particular objective where you need to go. And basically, that's the place where you can pick up your key. So I'll also showcase some of the other abilities as well. So Um, yeah, so this is the dash ability. So the player can dash to like different points quickly and like in short bursts, so you can evade as well. And if you come up to this balcony, you can see that the key is on the table. So if you go and press F on it, basically interaction, you can take the key, and the door below also opens, so you can access the data. And another mechanic is this camera module where the player can like see below him, and once he is done, he can like quit from the uh, camera and move forward. Now, since all of the enemies are also killed and we have disabled both the alarms, we can go finally over here, and then this is the final sequence that we generated for the data hacking as well. So I guess the audio is not audible, but you can try it out. And this entire demo is available on itch.io. So you can try this out and then let us know what you think about it as well. And yep, that's basically the demo that we want to present. And then the final objective is to escape and get out of um, the station before, like, this entire area before the enemies come back. So that's the basically the ending for the game, for this particular demo as well. So yep, so that's the entire demo. Please, as I said, let us know what you think about it in the comments as well. um, yeah, going back to the presentation. Yeah, over to you, Pranav.
Yeah, so as it's a sneak peek, I can't reveal much which is coming up for the game. As you know, the game has been selected for the IGDC Indie 40 category awards, and we have made it to the top 40 finalists, and I'm really excited for that moment. And now for the IGDC separately, we are making kind of, since the game is in the development and we have a very less time, we are making a fresh level, which is the perfect to the Ascendant. Like, that's what defines what is Ascendant. Like, you have multiple areas to enter the site, infiltrate the site, and so many new things. So Ashwin, can you go to the next
Yeah,
slide?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the latest blockout of the new map we are actually working on. And since you can see it's kind of looking small, what is it about, Bulke? It's actually, like, it's not small, it's actually very immersive for the player to play, because there are like many more things in the level. There is a kind of narrative experience which you will experience there. There is a traversal, a seamless traversal actually, and there are like many guards which will patrol, which will increase your challenging. And also there are many grappling points. You can actually choose your approach, like you can go to the main building, then the alarm part, or you can directly go to the alarm part. It's totally up to you. You can explore however you want, because every exploring will actually give you the idea of the map, as well as it will give you the core idea of the gameplay, like how it's going to be in the future iterations. So that's how a sneak peek goes. And this will be the very crazy map for IGDC. So if you want to play, just come to our kiosk in IGDC. We will, like, show you the entire experience, how the game will be. So that will be that. Ashana, you can go next.
Yeah. Mentioning a little bit about our future plans as well. So this entire journey is just the beginning, right? So even with G2M's mentorship, especially, we're aiming to expand, collaborate, and also refine our game and making Ascendant the best it can be as well. So we are also excited to grow with our community and engage with more players so that we can evolve Ascendant in many ways as well. So, bringing a little bit about our future plans for this game is to secure funding at the IGDC conference upcoming in November. we want to use this as a way to expand our team, allowing us to enhance our development capacity and bring this project to the to the players much faster. So that was the entire plan behind the expansion as well. And we are also open to collaboration with developers, artists, as well as sound designers, so that we can get more diverse perspectives into this particular project and enrich the game experience as well. And as I mentioned before, we also plan to actively feedbacks, other ways where we can shape our development process better. And also, we have already started outlining a comprehensive development roadmap, which might include potential DLCs and expansions, so that players can keep getting engaged long term as well. So, yep. Now, I'm open to questions, both of us, both me and Pranav. If you have any questions, you can let us know. I'll just go over the chat once.
Yeah, me
So,
too. Okay, thank you, Blush Boy, for the compliment. We are actually working through the story and the character development rigorously. I mean, I want the character to be the perfect whatsoever.
yeah, so we didn't want to reveal a lot about the narrative because a lot of this is something that the player should experience while playing the game. But just to give a bit of the insight, is it's basically a kind of like a character development. As I mentioned, the hero's journey format that we are currently following. So there's a lot of incidents, rising conflicts, and a total like kind of like a fall off period as well, where the player has to engage with a lot of battles, including boss battles. That's also something that we have in development as well, where the player has to actively fight enemies using his mechanics, like brute enemies. And there's going to be a lot of different types of story development in terms of like different types of enemies. Like we'll not be having only guards, but we'll also be having a bit of cyber warfare kind of this thing. So we'll be including some kind of like drones, turrets, and we'll also be able to use hacking modules to hack them and then fire against enemies, and a lot of other ideas that we do definitely have in plan. Samson on duty has asked a question about which Unreal version you're using. So when we started this project, we worked on 5.2, and currently we're using the same version as well. Yeah, you can definitely report your
Yeah,
bug
we are
over
actually
here.
open to the feedback, so there's no problem
Yes, yes.
reporting bugs because, like we had the time constant, so in making this demo build, so there will be
Any help
bugs.
will help us kind of make our
Yeah.
entire what do you say, like entire experience better as well. Um, Yeah, so basically, the number of levels will range from around like 3 to 5. That's what we have like expected. You could expect around 5 levels as well, and the average gameplay per level you could say would be around 30 to 40 minutes as well. So that's the idea that we have in our game as well. And each level you can come back and try it better, or see if you can do it in another way as well. So it's kind of like something that in terms, if you guys remember Ghost Runner, that's also another game that we've taken heavily inspiration from. So we have, you can come back to the level and re-experiment and see what other ways you can conquer the entire gameplay. Um,
Mm.
okay, so
Expected
yeah,
release
yeah,
window.
I understood the bug that you're talking about. So yeah, that's definitely, thank you for your suggestion. We'll definitely fix. I mean, I think it's already fixed probably. I mean, but we'll definitely look into that. Thanks, man.
Also, Lucifer Clancy has commented about the expected release window, number of levels expected, and what will be the
Hmm.
average. Right. You have answered that, right?
Oh yeah, so the expected release window
Yeah,
is basically within, like, so our entire timeline is within a year is what we were planning, or but we'll be releasing our beta and alpha versions to our community so they can test it out and let us know what what feedback that we can generate from them and how we can make it better as well. And oh, you've asked about the skills needed as a game programmer. And yeah, so it's not the point of being creative, but it's the idea of being able to design such mechanics. You do not require any skills. Basically, it's something that you have to learn on the way. So you can definitely start learning Unreal Engine, looking up some tutorials and then moving over to advanced form of tutorials as well. You can also come over at G2M, check out the Unreal program as well, which is amazing, as well as
yeah.
the Unity program if you're interested in the other um,
And one suggestion
things.
I would suggest that if you want to, like, if you're not creative and if you want to be creative, then whichever game you play, like whatever game, just break it down and constantly iterate in it in your mind, like in the programming perspective. Like if you are learning Unreal Engine, then you will get a image like how you are breaking down the game and how the mechanics are actually working. So that will be really be helpful for you to shape as a game designer or a programmer. Also, will there be any new mechanic? Okay. There are, like, we have so many
Yeah,
mechanics we
so the
actually
idea
need to
is these
develop.
mechanics, as I said, this is introductory level. Yeah,
Yeah,
so there will be a lot of mechanics that we will be like upgrading, like player can upgrade these mechanics into evolved versions. And there are also a lot of other things that we haven't developed, as Pranav mentioned. Yeah.
yeah,
All right. So it was really insightful to have you guys here, and it was really great experiencing the progress which you guys have made along the way. So we all wish you very luck in IGDC and for the future. All right. Are
yeah.
there
Thank
any
you so
final
much.
questions by anyone? If not, then I guess we shall not keep you. Right. So it's already 12 o'clock and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a Sunday. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you guys uh, for coming and showing us your gameplay. And we'll see you and your game at IGTC.
Yeah, thank you.
All right then. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Happy
Bye.
Sunday.
Happy Sunday, everyone.
Happy Sunday, everyone.